Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another live stream. Tuesday night. Tuesday night live stream. Man, it's getting dark early. It's getting real dark early now. It's getting late early. Anyone see the newest developments about Destiny being a Yeah, there's always stuff like that always comes out about him and then nothing happens. So who knows, man. But I haven't seen the recent stuff. I've seen other stuff come out about him. Newark Airport having issues due to government shutdown. Well, I can imagine. I can imagine now government shutdown about a week into it, I think. So getting dark around 7:30 feels bad. I actually don't mind.
Alexander tipped 5 Swiss francs through Super Chat. Palantir Vance, Marco Rubio and Donald Trumpenstein are in the past. When are you gonna embrace groyperism?
Boy, what a great first donation. What a great first donation for me. No, Trump's actually come out and he's told Netanyahu to stop the bombing. Yeah, the TTS is working. It's $5 and over, so people don't derail the stream. I don't mind if it gets dark at 7:30. Honestly, man. It's like when it gets dark at 5:30, it's an issue. But it's just like so cloudy today, man. It's just always cloudy. Well, actually, it's been sunny. Do you think the Nasdaq 420 change forced rebrand was not a positive one unless it's a fight the establishment? Well, no, you just don't understand. You know, Nasdaq told CoinGecko anything in association to Nasdaq. It's a name, image, likeness thing. They can't. It wasn't changed to fight. They had to change it. You're not understanding the situation. They didn't want it. I mean, nobody wanted to change it. They had to change it. It's. Destiny will never face consequences. Dude, they always say he did this and that and this, and nothing ever happens to him. He doesn't, I mean, he's still on all the platforms and stuff. And, he says, he tries to be like edgy and all this, and he never gets, I think he got banned off of Twitch, but other than that, it's like nothing, just nothing happens. You said it was forced. Yeah, it was forced by NASDAQ Incorporated. Remember when I told you about the girl that got detained in front of a mayor and police station? She got released last night. Well, I mean, when you're dealing with like 500 bazillion illegals, you're gonna miss some. I mean, there's so many of them. There's so many of them. How do you expect us? If they're do they really think we're gonna be able to deport every illegal like perfectly and nothing? They won't even let Trump deport illegals without crying about it, even though that's what democracy says. Democracy says Trump should deport illegals, and they're crying about it. Frank, what's up, man? What are the chance Pam Bondi gets the boot? She's unpopular, but Trump is always singing her praises. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they would have already scapegoated her, you would think, for the Epstein stuff, or maybe they still will. I mean, it's only 10 months into the administration, remember? Wait, is it even 10 months into the administration? It's like 8 months into the administration, whatever. It's very early on still, so maybe they're waiting to scapegoat Bondi, but I don't know. Trump really has taken a liking to her, so there's that. You can see Trump firing her if the Comey case falls apart. He would be livid, I'd imagine. Yeah, well, I don't think that case has that. I mean, I guess it'll depend on the judge, but I'm not sure that case has much of a chance of success. So she might be gone. Well, he got really angry because she was slowing her feed, or they had to get some other prosecutor to be able to actually take the Comey case or whatever, or the grand jury, and so he was bitching about that. But other than that, it seems like he defends her at every turn. Last time you said Michigan will lose to Ohio State, Michigan won. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think you can. I don't think that's really that remarkable. I mean, they were 20-point underdogs. Obviously, I'm not gonna pick a 20-point underdog to win outright. Like, I don't think anyone's picking UCLA to beat Penn State either, dude. Stock market down only because of shutdown. Yeah, I mean, there's fluctuation in the stock market. Thank you for the donation, India First fans. The worst Trojan horse ever. No, I mean, I don't know what Vance's policy on Indians and stuff. I think, dude, he's got an Indian wife. That doesn't mean this doesn't mean he's gonna be. I don't think he likes H1Bs, honestly. You should do more NFL content. I don't think I watch enough of it, honestly, man. I really don't. I mean, I used to do NFL prediction videos. I just don't watch enough of it. You believe the couch fucking story? You know the origins of that story is liberals just made it up. I mean, I guess it's a good internet meme. It's like the Tim Waltz semen story, horse semen. So the only way people will find no, that's not the only way. You search it. You search NSDQ.
Tyler J. Blanchard tipped $9.99 through Super Chat. Maybe Beaver Stadium will be as empty as the Rose one day. Penn State is always a disappointment.
Yeah, that's impossible. Well, I mean, unless Penn State's like 5-5 at like 2-5 or something. But dude, the Rose Bowl is that's a dead program. UCLA. That was a great upset, I guess. But what a dead program. The Rose Bowl, UCLA has to play in the Rose Bowl. It seats too much for UCLA. They put up tarps. But I don't know what Penn State's going to do. They're going to have to try and rebound and at least finish like 8-4, but I don't know if they'll be able to. I mean, they're going to lose to Ohio State. Maybe they'll rebound though. Thoughts on
Ben tipped $10 through Super Chat. I'm getting somewhat scared. It seems like they hundreds mention arrests. I look for names and mugshots, and there are none. When can we expect an arrest George Fugly Soros?
I'm blackpilled on that. I don't think they're ever going to arrest him, honestly, dude. I mean, it probably would have already happened. How long, Trump, I don't know. It's only been 10 months, his second term. I know his second term's different than his first. They're being more aggressive, but you can't really know how many people they're actually getting out. They're going to give numbers, but it's hard to trust. Thank you for the donation. Got cancer, bedridden. Keep these streams keep me going. Well, I'm very sorry to hear you got cancer. Yeah, it's really really unfortunate. But thank you for watching the streams. Why doesn't UCLA have their own stadium like USC and they do? I mean, it is their stadium, the Rose Bowl. Yeah, did you see, dude, that Braylon Hollihan, that was a brutal clip from him, man. That was a brutal clip. I feel bad for that kid, honestly. It's just like that kid doesn't know. That kid doesn't know. Dude, I'm just like, this is all so why is this just like it's all right, why do we have to interview all these people? Just make the arrests. Do we need 5,000 interviews? I don't know, maybe I'm being an asshole, but it's like what are your thoughts on the Charlie stuff with the kid supposedly not doing it? No, it's just bullshit conspiracy theories. Why did the crypto bull run get canceled? What are you talking about? It's not canceled. I just don't understand how like how many fucking interviews do we have to have with these people? Can they not just arrest people? And what is her job even? She just goes around and just does nothing. I mean, it's like isn't this kind of part of the problem where these people it's like we're advertising where we're going to be arresting these people. Just go out and arrest them. And then if there's a protester that gets in the way, just arrest them for obstruction. Why do you glaze Israel so hard when Turning Point USA even confirmed it? Dude, what I can say is there's no. I still don't think Israel was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Why don't you stream college football anymore? Just doesn't make sense for me to. What am I going to stream on Saturday? It's just the segment of the audience is not there. Play Christie. I don't even want to. I mean, this stuff is not interesting to me. She's talking about arresting someone. Okay, that's great. You arrested people. I mean, yeah, you arrest the illegals and deport them. That's we need a status update. I'm a regular viewer of your streams, but if you upgraded your mic to make your voice sound better, that would significantly improve streams. I mean, this is like $150 mic, dude. It's probably the fucking echo in the room or something if the sound is bad. I mean, the only thing I can do is I can bring it down to 0, but then it just then it starts getting really wiry. Why is Notre Dame on Peacock, not an NBC? Because they have a deal with Peacock. They have to appear on Peacock once. NBC is like they bought Peacock or some shit. It's the same thing, but obviously it's not going to be on network TV. Time to upgrade to a $500 mic. There are really expensive mics. Trust me, I've seen them. There's like really expensive everything. You could drop $10,000 on a setup easy. Odds on going to war with Vietnam or with Venezuela.
Ben tipped $10 through Super Chat. It's funny because 100% of the chat believes George Soros' middle name is actually Fugly. Because, well, obvious.
Well, thank you for the donation. I don't know about arresting Soros. They've been saying that for a decade. Republicans have. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised the Browns traded Flacco. I guess they're just gonna go with the rookies. It's a train wreck. It's a train wreck. They're probably gonna win one game from here on out. They're probably gonna finish 2-15. That'd be my guess. You just can't win with these, especially a third round rookie. You're not going to win with a third round rookie. BNB 184 billion. Well, yeah, I mean, BNB is doing very well. BNB has a great chart. It's like what we thought Ethereum was going to be. Thoughts on Venezuela saying U.S. planning a false flag operation? Well, obviously they're going to say that because they're feeling the pressure, and there is, at this point, maybe the U.S. needs some justification to advance whatever campaign they want. So they weren't going to win anyways. Yeah, they might win one or two more games with a veteran QB like Flacco. I mean, but yeah, they probably would have only won like 4 games. I mean, either way, it's just delaying the inevitable. I mean, you're gonna have to draft a quarterback. Thank you for the donation, Groiperstan, with Arian Newsom. Yeah, well, Arian Newsom's gonna completely change them. I mean, it's already happened, but Arian Newsom's gonna accelerate the immigration of third world immigrants. That's not very Aryan-like. The only game the Browns may win is against the Bengals. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the Bengals are another terrible team without Burrow. Oh my, we have to start the glamour picks of ice. What will it take for Stefanski to get fired? The problem is that it's the ownership that gave Watson that contract, so they don't blame Stefanski. The entire thing is a mess because of that contract to Watson, and that was forced by the ownership, not the GM or the coach. So the GM and the coach, I guess they'd allow him to remain.
Was she?
Senator Schiff,
Was she?
if
right?
you worked for me, you would have been fired because you were censured
No,
by Congress for lying with your
we can
egregious
stipulate to. You can stipulate to all your personal attacks on the Democratic members of the committee.
personal attacks. You've been attacking my FBI director. You've been attacking my office. You've been attacking.
But we're interested
Your
in.
borders are.
What we're interested in is the answer to these oversight questions.
Want your
So
no,
you were
oversight.
you were asked by my colleague. You were asked by my colleague.
Attacking good people.
Regular order, Madam Chair, so I can ask a question. You were asked by my colleague from Vermont. Was she?
Let's see a question.
In which members of Congress can get serious answers to serious questions about
Are the riots in LA serious?
About the cover-up of corruption, about the prosecution of the president's enemies. And
I think you owe the president an apology.
When will it be
Your entire career,
that the members of this committee on a bipartisan basis demand answers to those questions and refuse to accept
Clearly you're a failed lawyer because you don't understand when someone can and cannot answer a question.
Refuse to accept personal slander as an answer to those questions.
Personal slander?
With
Will
that,
you
Madam Chair,
apologize to Donald
I yield
Trump
back.
for slandering him? Personal slander.
Senator.
May I ask unanimous consent, Madam Chair, to introduce?
It's like third graders arguing with each other. But I think these are just the moments of it. I don't know what they're angry at her, I guess. It's probably has to do with deportations and going after Comey. My mic sounds great. Yeah, it's a mixed bag. Some people like the mic. I think the mic, I guess, is good enough. I don't know. You're a Pats fan, and Drake May is more of a pass first. Yeah, Drake May is. He looks like a decent young quarterback, I guess. iPhone 17 mic better than that. Well, the iPhone has a great camera. That's one of the things I realized with the iPhone. The iPhones do have great cameras. Maybe I'll try and get a better microphone, I guess. I mean, I think I probably have to put an accessory on it, like a pop filter or something. But I did try and put a pop filter on it. Didn't really do much. What do you think about LeBron's decision announcement? Yeah, I think it's a attention-seeking move. It's a marketing strategy, I guess. Did you see the photo they took of the Texas National Guard? I would be more afraid of you than I would of them. What, are they all fat? Thoughts on Joe Flacco getting traded? I was surprised, honestly. I mean, the Browns have no one. They have a third and a fifth round rookie, so they've obviously just given up. I mean, to me, Gabriel is just—he's too short. I'm sorry, he is. He's just too short. He's too short to really expect him to be anything other than maybe a backup QB in the NFL. He played 6 years in college. He's really old for a rookie. Sanders, I think I would like to see them just trade Sanders for like a 9th round pick. Trade Sanders for a 50th round pick or something. Now trade him for like a 7th round pick or something, I guess. I don't know. Are you gonna do NBA predictions? No.
Alexander tipped 5 Swiss francs through Super Chat. What would it take for you to denounce Republicans and join the Groypers?
Yeah, that's not happening, dude. A prolonged, you know what? Boots on the ground in Iran. There. Yeah, if Trump has a prolonged war with Iran. NFL is going down the same path as NBA. Oh, it's all terrible, man. I mean, it's obvious the sports have gotten worse. All the sports have gotten worse, really. You're a Virginia voter. Looks like the Jay Jones stuff isn't going to change anything. You know the polls are hopeful. Thank you for the donation. I'll remember that. Oh, that's fine. It's not going to happen. I was waiting for that donation.
Mad tipped $5 through Super Chat. DG, did you see Carmela blame Andrew Tate and others for the loss of men voters under 30? She wrote that in her new book. She blames everyone but herself. Smiley face emoji.
Yeah, no, I saw that. Myron Gaines and Andrew Tate, I guess, are basically she says they won Trump the election. She's just trying to blame anyone. You're right. She's just a really weird person, and she's got this thing now where she's saying she barely lost. It's the closest election of the century, and it's just not true. It's not even close to true. She's just got this weird delusional aspect to her. And she does the thing where she acts drunk. I think she thinks it's cute or something, but it's really weird. Did you watch The Big Bang Theory? No, not really. No, I never. Those type of shows. The only show I really watched was The Middle from like ABC. I never really watched those type of shows. Like I never watched like Law and Order or any of that type of stuff. Trump called out the Democratic parties like the Democratic policies like transgender for everyone in front of Mark Carney, and think he has. You think he has a trans child? LOL. Trump mocked him. Yeah, I heard about that. Carney apparently has a trans kid. I don't know how I didn't know that. I guess they didn't. You'd think that would be a big thing leading into that election, but the middle was a good show. Yeah, I mean it was that's those type of shows I can't watch anymore as I get older. I don't know if it's an attention thing or what, but I used to watch the middle. Yeah, Trump did another troll with Carney on the 51st state, but obviously it's not going to happen. Short form content has destroyed younger generations. Yeah, dude, there's this new thing on like you can stream vertically now. Maybe I'll do a vertical stream or something, but I'd have to probably just have it in front of my face rather than but apparently you get more views on the vertical streams, but it's like it's basically like TikTok views. They're really meaningless. It's when the vertical stuff, it's the views are so meaningless because it's so easy to scroll and view a bunch of stuff, and so the short form stuff, it's like YouTube Shorts. I just didn't want to do YouTube Shorts because it would basically artificially inflate my channel. Think about how many shorts I could have on different clips in like all the videos, but it would just artificially inflate my channel. Those people aren't going to watch the long form. If I had a YouTube short that got 10 million views, I would gain 20,000 subscribers off of it, and how many of those 20,000 people would watch long form content of mine? Like 1%, not even 1%, honestly. If you look at the footage of American cities from the 80s, the streets were 90% white with a few black guys here and there. Oh, it's insane. Well, you know what they need to do is they need to take all the major cities. They did this with London and the surrounding areas in the UK. Look at all the cities and the shift, and it's the major cities are the extreme out of everything, because you can say, well, it's gone from 90% to 60%, but the major cities, it's insane, because it's gone from like 90 to like 30 in a 50-year span. And it's all the major cities. I mean, like it was funny because someone was talking about Colorado Springs, like these liberals, because I know Colorado Springs is like the biggest majority white city, and they were like, oh, they saying how bad it was and how racist it was, and I was thinking to myself, and I was like, I mean, that checks out because it's like the only, like the biggest majority white city that checks out that they would call it that. Yeah, they just don't exist anymore. They don't exist in the United States. There's not a single major city like that. It's a guy you used to go to church with enlisted in the army. He's like 19. Damn. Well, he'll get good benefits and stuff. Mariners are up by 4. Well, they're gonna go up 2-1. That's gonna be a problem for the Tigers. You have to go to Idaho for those kind of numbers. No, but even Boise, I think, is getting more diverse. I think Boise is getting a lot more diverse now. Any major city, they'll sniff it out. Any mid-sized city, Is Trump being overly aggressive in his statements against the left? Be honest. Well, I mean, what you have to understand is Trump's really not a seasoned politician. He does things a lot differently than other politicians. So he is a bit more. He's a bit more direct than other politicians. I'd say that there's not a lot of word salad with Trump on certain things. So you get a more real human, version of a president than with other people, with other presidents we've had. Have you ever thought of doing like food challenges? Uh, maybe many moons ago. That's like a queer thing to say. Many moons, maybe many moons ago, I thought about it, but not within the past years or so. You should do IRL stuff with Nick Shirley. Dude, that dude gets harassed. I mean, I guess you give him respect. He gets harassed by those people. Dude, I'd be awkward out there just trying to talk to these people. I mean, that's... You are a computer science major, so you work with several Indian students, and you don't think they are as they... You don't think they are as they seem? They are hardworking people who want to contribute to the economy. Well, they can contribute to India's economy. We need people contributing. We need, native-born, people in this country to contribute to our economy. They would sniff out. Yeah, you know what? I mean, Ireland is very liberal. I don't know. They probably like it. It's very white CEOs who hire them, bro. Did you seriously just say that? You understand? It's actually one of the more popular thing that's happening. All the CEOs are being replaced of these major companies by Indians. You realize that? So the fact that you just said very white, well, no, of course, but that's more of a product of capitalism than anything. Of course, they're gonna hire Indians on H-1Bs because it's cheaper. That's the problem. Is it true Americans are lazy because of immigration? Yeah, we've got a very bad relationship with immigration. That's why immigration needs to be cut off. Our relationship with it's not good for either. It's not good for either side. It really isn't. So just cut it off. It's bad for both sides, honestly. Lego Death Star video. Bro, that's $1,000. And I don't even think that set's that great. Like, that's not even a set I would display. There's a parameter that needs for me to buy a set. That set you can't even display properly. It's like, I like the more modular type buildings. That's like, but I knew something like that was going to get released by Lego. I knew they were going to do something like that. Right, they're very tribal with who they hire as well. If there's an Indian manager, there's a high chance they're going to hire Indians. They hire their own. Yeah, 100%. What's your next build? It's like a Halloween castle type thing. It's kind of like a modular, but If you go IRL in the streets of Portland, you're giving a $500 dono. I would fund my trip. You hate to say this, you work in IT. Literally, last week your white manager was replaced by an Indian. Yeah, you're trolling me now. You're trolling me, but it is happening. It's obvious it's happening. It's a fucking mainstream talking point. Look at like, I think YouTube has an Indian CEO now. You should cover the Irish election in 2 weeks. Conor McGregor. No, he dropped out, I think.
I'll tell you what, I'm getting calls from Democrats wanting to meet. I never even heard their names before, and they're claiming to be leaders. The Democrats have no leader. They remind me of Somalia, okay? You know?
Huh.
And I met the president of Somalia. I told him about the problem he's got. I said, you have somebody from Somalia who's telling us how to run our country. From
Alexis Jun tipped $5 through Super Chat. Thoughts on the Candace Owens voice memes? A lot of non-race mixers find it attractive.
Wait, when she was just like, you don't get to ask those questions. Yeah, I've seen that. If that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those like things. It's like to seduce people. You say that, I guess. She's like having full eye contact. I don't know.
Somalia, he said, would you like to take her back? He said, no, I don't want her. Okay, you know who I'm talking about? I'll tell you what, I'm getting calls from Democrats wanting to lose. They have a party that's out of control. They have no leader. Nobody knows who the leader is. I look at people with very low IQs like Crockett, this woman Crockett. I never met her, but she's a low IQ individual. I look at AOC talking about how if they want to negotiate, they can come to my office. She's not in that position to do that. And who the hell is she to say that? And then I watch Nancy Pelosi not knowing what to do. I watch their leadership. Look, Schumer is petrified of primary because he's not going to win probably against anybody in a primary. You know, Schumer did the right thing to lose.
Senator Klobuchar, I'm not going to discuss personnel decisions, but the personnel issue that I'm having right now is that all of my agents, all of my lawyers are working. My agents are on the street working without a paycheck because you're...
I love how Trump just rambles about domestic policies to foreign leaders all the time. Yeah, just look at Carney.
They have a party that's out of control. They have no leader. Nobody knows who the leader is. I look at people with very low IQs like Crockett, this woman Crockett. I never met her, but she's a low IQ individual.
But she's a low IQ individual. This woman Crockett, I never met her, but she's a low IQ individual.
I look at AOC talking about how if they want to negotiate, they can come to my office. Because these Democrats are like insurrectionists, okay? They're so bad for our country. Their policy is so bad for our country. I said, let's see if we can get it all done and everybody said it's not doable. Because it's the biggest bill ever passed in the history of our country. And we got it all done. We don't need anything else. We got everything we want. Because these Democrats...
Is it the White House's position that furloughed workers should be paid for their back pay?
I would say it depends on who we're talking about. I can tell you this, the Democrats have put a lot of people in great risk and jeopardy, but it really depends on who you're talking about. But for the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way. Okay? Thank you.
Is it the White...
We'll take care of them by putting them in jail. Because you'd be in jail.
This is, in many respects, the most important.
The
what
merger
you created
of Canada
no,
and the
what
United
you
States.
created. That wasn't where it was going. I was no, but I, you know, on this.
Boy, Carney loves Trump now. He's all dressed up today. Boy, Trump looks sour.
President Trump, sir, your message to Israel on the second anniversary of the Hamas attack. Thank you very much. You talked about ending the trade war.
What are your thoughts on the starving of children in Gaza? You will note you voted for Trump, but this not being able to criticize Israel seems to be hypocritical and a violation of the First Amendment. Well, I think Trump has told Israel to stop bombing Gaza. Trump did tell Israel to stop bombing Gaza. He said that, I mean, he said some stuff. He said some stern stuff against Israel, I know, in the past, like, few months, honestly, if you look at it. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's obviously Israel is doing some stuff. They want the Palestinians gone out of that land. Trump's peace deal is going to keep them in the land. We'll see if it goes through. What would it take for you to turn on Trump? I don't know. What would it take for you to become? What would it take for you to get on testosterone? Maybe you'd be Republican. Missing 300K missing children under Biden. Focus on that a bit more than Epstein wouldn't hurt. No, you don't understand. You don't understand. This is such a psyop with Epstein with these liberals because they didn't care about it. They said it was fake. They said it was fake. They said it was like a conspiracy by Republicans. Do you think we need to get rid of APAC controlling? Yeah, obviously any entity that acts in a way that's supportive of foreign government or another country should not be there. So there shouldn't be a lot of the funding has to be removed, honestly. It needs to be cleaned up significantly. But I think there needs to be a huge overhaul within Congress. Age limits need to be enacted, things like that. At this point, mental gymnastics to say Epstein files aren't out because of the liberals is impressive. I know they only had 4 years to release them. Maybe if we gave them, maybe 5 years, they would have done it. You know what? We'd have to give them 6 years. They might release something in 6 years. Or maybe we would have to give them 7. I don't know. It might be a few. But we did only give them 4 years to release stuff. That's not that many. You're right. Trump's had 10 months. They had 4 years. So it's comparable. What happened to the list the Epstein victims were going to release on their own? Who knows? Who knows about any of this stuff with Epstein?
Senator Blumenthal, I cannot believe that you would accuse me of impropriety when you lied about your military service.
I am
you
not
lied.
asking
You
you.
admitted you
I am
lied
not
to be
accusing you
elected
of
a U.S. senator.
impropriety.
You
I'm asking
lied.
you
How
about
dare
your
you? I'm a
relations
career prosecutor.
with
Don't
Mr.
you
Ballard,
ever challenge my integrity.
had
I have
apparently-
abided by every ethics standard. Do not question my ability to be fair and impartial as Attorney General, and anything
You'll
with
answer that
my
question to
former
another of my
firm,
colleagues.
Ballard Partners.
Thank you.
Did you see the Trump deportations have been so effective the population will decline this year? Yeah, well, they say 2 million, so 2 million people have been deported, basically, from what I saw. Bondi got asked the Epstein question. Your Yankees pick looks bad. May have to repick. Yeah, I probably have to repick to Mariners versus Brewers. Mariners, Brewers. I've already repicked like 3 times. I'm gonna have to repick again. Mariners versus Brewers.
Is the ultimate weaponization, and weaponization under Donald Trump has ended. It has.
Is there literally no news right now? Is everything dry? No, there's news. It's just a bunch of fucking ICE bullshit where they're angry that illegals are being deported. So it's like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Ended. Harmeet Dillon is running our civil rights unit, and she is doing an incredible job. No longer will parents be targeted. No longer will parents who care about whether their elementary school children have to read a transgender book be targeted and told they cannot have any say in their child's education. That has ended under this administration. People can worship freely, whether they're Catholics at synagogues or Muslims. Everyone can worship freely. That was the ultimate weaponization. They were targeting Catholics. No longer. They have been targeting so many American citizens throughout this country. And Senator Hawley, you have been a champion of this, and thank you for being a champion of that. That is the ultimate weaponization.
When can we get back to demographical composition back to 90s, 2000 levels? Well, they'd have to, I don't even think it's possible. You would have to do remigration. You'd have to, at that point, enact remigration. Or you would have to do some pretty insane maneuvers, honestly. IDK, why she yells the whole time? Yeah, she's trying to sound stern. She's being attacked by these people. They're probably asking her questions about Epstein and Comey, and you know, it's all the same liberal shit. Fundamental Bear, good evening. You already got an anti-Israel post ban on TikTok? Well, look at who owns it now. Is it Larry Ellison?
Them a certain period of time?
I have not given them a certain period of time. I'll discuss that matter with my staff and see if that needs to be done.
Okay, if civil suits are filed against the perpetrators at the FBI, will that facilitate your investigation?
Well, what's the question again?
If the 8 senators who were spied upon sue the hell out of the Department of Justice.
Should they repeal the 19th? Well, you know, that what somebody said was correct. I think you should have to be third generation to vote. You got to be third generation American to vote. That would curb a lot of this problem, you know, with these immigrants coming in and voting against American interests. A lot of them don't even care, you know, about the country or anything like that. So that'd probably curb it.
Justice and the perpetrators involved, will that facilitate their investigation and or yours? I guess what I'm getting to is I don't understand why we don't have a separate hearing. I find this breathtaking.
Yeah. It's just been 24 hours since the FBI investigated on it. Please give me an opportunity to sort through all this.
Fair enough. I just don't want to wait 24 years to get an answer.
Yeah. We do have an active investigation going on through my...
In an ideal world, that would be the solution. Yeah, that's actually a realistic solution because you know, you do the 19th, the women are just gonna go insane. But I mean, I guess you could do it, but like that would not be realistic. I think the third generation thing is a lot more realistic than the 19th.
Leader Schumer's record, because he is leading the opposition and he is the one telling the Democrats to keep the government shut down. Chuck Schumer has been in Congress for 44 years. He was first elected to the House in 1981. Just for reference, I was 9 years old. I was in the 3rd grade when Chuck Schumer came here to Congress. Throughout his entire career, he has been very, very consistent about the necessity of keeping the government open until just now. In fact, I want to read to you an excerpt from 7 months ago, his floor speech on March 13th, 2025.
Oh, you guys got to see this clip from this kid. This is really sad.
So we should keep increasing the amount of legal immigrants.
Legal immigrants, yes, we're a melting pot. I absolutely support that.
So I'm sure you understand these groups vote overwhelmingly against American values. They vote for the Democratic Party. So surely that's the death of the Republican Party, right?
Yes, but we can't close our borders and have our nation where we don't accept anybody to come in. So I've been a very big proponent against...
Plenty of countries do that.
We can't just completely close our borders off and never allow somebody else to migrate into the country.
Why not?
Because that's how the country was started, as a melting pot. Like, we welcome people in.
This country did not start as a melting pot. That term was invented in 1910 by Israel Zangwill.
So the people that came over from England didn't melt into America.
No, they started in America. They didn't melt into anything.
Okay. I've been very clear that I'm against illegal immigration coming into this country and plaguing our generation from not getting jobs, making our streets unsecure, and actually harming Americans' future. Because therefore there's no safe America and free America to grow up in.
Again, my question wasn't about illegal immigration, it was about legal immigration.
And I think we should support more people coming legally and not illegally.
Okay, I think we all understand what you're...
Yeah, so that kid obviously, he's being groomed by neocons. That's really bad. Really, really bad. That's like a talking point from the maybe Republican Party 15 years ago or something. It's... For most of the U.S. history until last 15 years or so, we did have non-white immigration, but it was controlled and strict. Also, Canada and Europe were less diverse than America in 2010. Oh, 100% those countries were way less diverse than America. But we started really letting immigration in after 65, but it really ramped up in 1980, 1990. And then it's just been a cascade effect. But really 65, I mean, the country was under serious immigration controls until 65. Melting... Yeah, but the whole melting pot thing, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, melting pot in terms of different white cultures from Western Europe, that would be the melting pot. I mean, the country was 90% white until 65. Every consequential position or decision was made by a white man. It just does not. It's not. I mean, the melting pot argument would be if the United States, if North America formed and the United States formed with some Chinese people, with some Mexicans, with some English, with some, Indians, and they all came together. That's what a melting pot, and started a country. That's what the melting pot would be of a country. The country is entirely started by white Western Europeans. I mean, it's obviously that's just not correct. I don't know. It's inaccurate. Do you agree that solving the so-called immigration crisis without disrupting the economy should be a careful plan that takes 10 to 15 years? It's not possible. There's no way you'd be able to... There would have to be different administrations. 10 to 15 years is not... I don't think it can really be... I mean, I guess it can be put on a different path, but, with the way American politics work, the opposition party comes in every 8 years or 4 years. So I feel like that it would have to happen quicker than that. Way quicker. But I don't know if it can. From a legal sense, happen. There'd have to be something that gives.
I want to express my love for the short king community. Laugh at them. Stephen Miller is a clown. I've never seen that guy in real life, but he looks like he's like 4'10", and he looks like
Supreme Court needs to overturn Obergefell. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it.
like he is angry about the fact that he's 4'10". I don't believe in body shaming. I am talking about how big or small someone is on the inside. Like, for example, I have no idea how tall Andrew Tate is. No idea at all. But that guy looks to me like 5'3", like 5'3", 5'4". Whereas, physically,
Andrew Tate, I think, is like 6'1".
men of smaller stature can come across. They are spiritually 6 foot. If you're a good dad, if you stand with women, if you're...
I think, how tall is Andrew Tate? He seems like a taller dude. I don't know.
Holy Father,
Yes.
President Trump has sent 400 National Guard troops to your city, Chicago,
Yes.
against...
I prefer not to comment at this time about choices made, political choices within the United States. Thank you very much.
il viaggio...
They would ask him a question like that. Only 6'1". People still worship the Pope. Yeah, the Catholic Church getting a new Pope was a big deal earlier this year, and you know he blessed that block of ice. Remember that? I don't know. The Catholic Church has got some of this, this liberalism seeped in. It's what happened with Pope Francis. Fuck height, you're 5'5". 5'5" is tough, man. But I mean, you know the average height of what? I think the average height of a female is like 5'3" in this country. Male, it's 5'10", 5'11". Male is 5'9". I think it depends what country. Some countries, males are a lot shorter. People in general are a lot shorter in different countries. The United States, I think it's a little bit taller than that. Five five gets mugged by high school girls. Yeah, I mean, there's some tall high school girls, but 5'5" is tough. Your 5'7" works for you, Trump 2028. $5'11", but you plan on getting a shin extension surgery. Makes sense. You'll become high value if you do that. Dude, how is that an adult woman? TikTok family. TikTok dad.
Freedom20 tipped $5 through Super Chat. Should the DT admin use ICE in the swing states cities? Remove the illegal voters before the next presidential election. Help win.
Yeah, I don't know if that would make much of a difference, honestly. I mean, I don't know how many illegals are voting, but I think they should just remove as many as humanly possible. If there is really that many in swing states, I mean, we got bigger issues. We got bigger issues, honestly. What about their $15K a month? It's not worth it to look like that in front of a camera. That $15K a month, $15K a month is not worth it, man. Come on. How much would getting Greenland affect the U.S. demographic? No, Greenland has no population. It wouldn't affect it at all. Their population is like probably a small city, honestly. It's like 60,000 people. How short is too short to be a man of to be a high value man? Well, I mean, like, you know, people say, well, I think 5'9" is good enough. I think 5'10" is good, honestly. 5'10" is good enough. No, it's actually, it is like 5'9", 5'10", I think. Something like that. Remember when you graduated and we had to sort yourselves by height? You're 5'10", funny seeing people quite shorter than you claiming to be 6'2". Yeah, there's no reason to do that. I mean, you're going to claim yourself to be 4 inches taller. We lose a lot of states because of the cities. Well, of course. That's where liberals tend to live, in is bigger cities, highly densely populated areas. In your opinion, if you're 5'8" but handsome, you're fine. Anything below that is pushing it. Yeah, no, I think there's like an equilibrium point. It's like you're gonna have to at least 5'8", 5'8.5", something like that maybe. I mean, I think we're starting to really, really dial in some cope, but I'm taller than that. What do you think about universal basic income? How soon should we implement it? Well, we can't do universal basic income with the current situation with the population. It's just not. That's not a good idea. You bought all the Apple upgrades, iPhone 17. What does PM stand for? Ultra. Oh, you did it because of the ice, because they blocked the ice app or whatever, the ice tracker. The iPhone 17, it doesn't make much sense. There's no innovation with Apple. You buy the new. I mean, it's just like an improved battery life of 1%. The sooner people accept UBI is never happening, the better they will be. Well, it just doesn't make much sense with our situation right now. You can't really have it because we already have the issues with the entitlement programs, and we're going to add more to it. Should corporations be forced to distribute some degree of profits back towards wages, forcing executives and investors to skim less off the top? Yeah, but I don't know how you really enforce. You're not really going to be able to enforce something like that. They would probably just create other streams of profit revenue that don't show up on the actual bottom line of the company. What is new with the 17? I don't think there's never anything new with these phones. They just make it slightly upgrade battery life, maybe a little bit of a slimmer, lighter design. You're upgrading from the 12, so it's a huge upgrade either way. Well, I have the 14. If I upgraded from the 14 to the 17, I don't think I'd notice really a change at all. Nick Saban and John Gruden were both spotted at the University of Arkansas. Yeah, but that would not be a good idea for them to go to Arkansas. To the SEC, I think that would be a mess for either of them go to Arkansas with how competitive the SEC is. It's not a good landing spot. 17 Mogs, the 14. You went from 14 to 16 Max Pro, you noticed a lot. I think you got to skip like 3 generations at a time. Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I didn't notice much from the 10 to the 14. When will the Redskins name come back? I don't think it's ever coming back.
Ben tip $5 through Super Chat. 6'1" inch, 299 pounds. What bills require supermajority of the Senate and what ones require only the majority? Could Trump do a federal voter ID law?
You're 6'1", 290. You're a big boy. You're a big boy. Yeah, no, I don't think Trump can do a federal ID. I don't think Trump's going to be able to pass a federal ID law. I think you need the supermajority for that. You need 60 in the Senate. Get rid of the filibuster. They're not going to. I mean, they should have done that immediately if they were going to do it. Yeah, that's got to be a troll. iPhone 17 Pro selling well this year. They probably, I mean, I'm sure they all sell well. Any new Apple product, any new Apple iPhone is probably going to sell well. They know deep down they shouldn't be releasing a new phone every year, but they do it in the name of capitalism. It's not really necessary to release a new phone every year. It's just like it's not necessary to release a new Call of Duty, especially with how shitty they are. And they've become. When does the new Call of Duty come out? Don't they come out earlier now? Remember they used to come out in November? Now they come out in October. Flip phones need to make a comeback. Well, there's definitely simple phones that are useful if you need like non-tracking phones or something that only call and text people. What about a new Madden every year? Yeah, Madden's another one. Madden 2K, MLB The Show. It's just do Rust. Just do like a Rust or updates or whatever.
Or so what the White House is listening, what would your argument be to them?
My argument would be the U.S. Constitution, now available in paperback, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8. Congress is to promote the progress of science and useful arts. 1787, the founders put the word science in the U.S. Constitution. It is a remarkable thing. They realized the value for international competitiveness, our health and welfare. Thanks for having me on.
I love that you carry the Constitution in your pocket.
I wish you read the 1790 Naturalization Act. But I mean, I think they are trying to advance with Musk's SpaceX, really not NASA. It seems like there's definitely a drift with NASA and the administration. You like Caitlin Collins? Yeah, she was on a podcast. She said that Trump never sleeps. He's always up. When is the 9/11 Iceberg Part 2 coming? Yeah, I know. That's going to be a tough one. I'm going to have to try and get that done at some point. It's going to take a while, though, man. Caitlin Collins and Scott Jennings are expecting. Yeah, that's big news. Columbine conspiracy theory video. I know a bit about Columbine, but I don't think I'd do a video on it. What do you think about the EA Couch Football games? I think they've been bad. I think the EA games have been really a letdown. Very bare bones. Disappointing.
Freedom20 tipped $5 through Super Chat. Shouldn't DT give $2,000 rebate checks to help the party stay in power? Very good talking point.
Well, they're trying to work it out. We'll see if the dynamics align for them to do that. I did a video on it about a week ago, maybe a few days ago. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, they're trying to use the tariff revenue to be able to fund that.
I predicted at the start of this year.
Really, Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, it's like, if Trump gets a Nobel Peace Prize or doesn't get one, I guess it's good for propaganda. But it's just like, it's just an award. You know, I watched The Martian, The Martian. It's a good movie. First time I watched it in like 3 or 4 years. And I watched Everest, the movie from 2015. Good movies. This is where U.S. politics is at. This is a good screen capture of where U.S. politics is. Just spamming flags. Everest is great. Yeah, no, Everest is actually an underrated movie. I liked that movie a lot, actually. I thought it had a great score. God, I'm looking at that. Graphics on The Martian is 10 times better than Interstellar. Dude, well, no, you can't even compare the two. Interstellar is more of a space movie. The Martian is just specifically tied to Mars. There's very little. I mean, I guess when they're on the main ship, I don't know, man. I mean, Interstellar is obviously a better movie than The Martian, but I think The Martian's a good movie. I mean, dude, The Martian, though, really doesn't make... I mean, I do think it's a little bit ridiculous. Like, we're going to do this thing where they're going to risk the whole crew just for one person. I mean, that's not protocol. That's not proper protocol. We don't do that. The U.S., NASA should not do that. That's... Interstellar was game changer, like a top 10 all-time movie. Yeah, Interstellar is like a top 3 all-time movie, honestly. But I don't know where it would rank it, like with other people ranking it, probably not top 3. NASA was prepared to let Neil Armstrong die on the moon if they couldn't get off. Well, of course.
Change agent tip $19.99 through Super Chat. My grandchildren think I'm 7 feet 0 inches. My wife thinks I'm 5 feet 6 inches. Tape measure says I'm exactly in the middle. Smiley face emoji.
I appreciate that donation. Thank you, change agents. That tends to be how it is. Yeah, kids always think you're a giant. How do you feel about Erica's weird behavior since Charlie's death? She didn't grieve very long. I mean, like 2.5, 3 weeks. I don't know, man. You're in the public spotlight. I think everyone's just going to scrutinize it pretty much no matter what she does. I thought it was a little strange that she did take over. It might be a temporary thing, like she temporarily takes over, turning point. It may be something like that, if I had to guess.
Charlie was loyal to people that he had shared history with, right? He was asked, I think this may be what you were about to say, Blake. He was asked about Candace before in public, and he would always say, listen, we're friends. He would never say an ill word about her. And if people, tried to force him to do that about Tucker or whatever, he would always be defiant because he didn't want to be morally blackmailed.
Exactly. Charlie was loyal to people who had ever been friends to him, whether it was very old donors or just people who had worked with Turning Point. And as long as they were not attacking him, he would not air any dirty laundry or, frankly, any disagreements he had with people. He did disagree with Candace on the Israel issue. He disagreed with Tucker on the Israel issue. But he also recognized Tucker had positions they agreed on. Tucker was a useful voice in the conservative movement on many things. And so he invited him to events, and they were popular events. And so he would react. Sometimes people would just say, yeah, don't invite him, or we're going to, cut off some large donation. And that would make him angry. He would say this, yeah, as you say, this is moral blackmail. And he's this Scottish guy. He's combative. His reaction to that is, the classic, like, screw me, no, screw you, that sort of thing.
He had this, and it's one of my favorite parts about Charlie is just how defiant and independent he was.
Yeah,
he was never going to
be... He could not be controlled by other people.
You could not buy him, he was not bought and paid for. You could not control him with money. It just wasn't the way he was wired. He didn't actually care about money that much.
And so what's going on here? What is going on here, you guys can look up what the text say. What is going on is, Charlie, as I mentioned, he loved Israel, he cared about Israel, he cared about the Holy Land, and he was aware there was a surge of anti-Israel sentiment on the right.
Thank you for the donations, Xander. Hassan Piker abused his dog on stream. Really? Yeah, he's got some issues, honestly, man. He's like a wannabe socialist. And now he's doing things like that. It's disturbing.
Right. Charlie thought seriously about this issue and was trying to chart a path forward for people who were sympathetic to Israel. He was playing the good cop here. He was saying, you guys don't realize how bad it could potentially get. You have to change your PR. That's why he writes a letter to Bibi. You are losing the PR war. You need to change how you do your PR. You need to change your messaging to the American right. You might need to change what you expect from us, that you're not going to be able to count on just, for example, unlimited military aid from America. That's just not going to be tenable going forward. So maybe it has to be a more passive relationship. Maybe you need to give more support towards America. Some more support.
Dude, why is everyone talking about Tim Pool now? Dude, Tim Pool went to... You remember Tim Pool with Roger Stone? He was wearing a tuxedo and he had the beanie on. And Roger Stone was like, take it off, man. Just take it off for the love of God.
America and, for example, opposing Islamic migration into America. That's one thing he thought we could ally on. And he was trying to do all of this because he cared about the relationship and wanted to chart a way forward on it. And he would feel angry and upset when people would react to this by blowing up and suggesting he was an anti-Semite or a hater. He would get angry about that because he knew it was untrue. And then he would sometimes vent about this.
Yeah.
He would vent about this to people who understood that, who were pro-Israel people who shared his view on that issue.
Well, exactly. And just why I, didn't share this publicly, it was because this was a private message between Charlie and some people, some Jews and non-Jews, where he was, frustrated. He was frustrated. And that would have felt like a betrayal to my friend because he never said anything like that publicly in like a show, right? He said things with Meghan that were very, like we just played them. I went on Alex Clark's show and I felt like I did a faithful...
Well, Tim Pool did report that Charlie Kirk was in stable condition. And I don't know where that report came from, but...
job of expressing what I believed his genuine feelings were. To address some of the things that have been going around on public, namely...
Why do these guys always... I don't know, man. It's just something about this, like the Charlie Kirk show and...
About a group text chain that has been made known and released by Candace Owens. And I just want to address it head on because, that was a screen grab that I had shared with people. So it is authentic. And I want to go into it because I actually am really excited that the truth is out there. To address some of the things that have been going around on public, namely about a group text chain.
In February, you made a public claim that the Epstein client list was, quote, sitting on my desk right now for review, end of quote. You then produced already public information and no client list at a major media event hosted at the White House. Attorney General Bondi, why did you publicly claim to have the Epstein client list waiting for your review and then produce nothing relevant to that claim?
Senator Durbin, if you listen to my entire clip on that, I said I had not reviewed it yet, that it was sitting on my desk along with the JFK files, the Martin Luther King files, and I said I had not yet reviewed it. And if you see our memo on Epstein, you will see, our memo on Epstein clearly points out that there was no client list, our July 6th memo.
In February, you made a public claim.
Wow, so it's solved.
I similarly, like I just said, had a vivid dream this weekend, and Charlie came to me and he told me that he was betrayed. And so for me, you don't have to believe that, but I do believe that. And it was the immediate sense I got actually, and I don't know who exactly it is that betrayed him, but I also felt in the dream that it is soon going to be revealed, that it's actually inevitable that it is going to be revealed, that there is nothing and no one that is going to stop the truth from coming out, and it is going to have international consequences. Take that to the bank. Quote me on that. Women tend to have a stronger intuition.
So she got a dream that Charlie Kirk said there's something's going to come out that's international consequences.
It's different because Trump is such an accessible president that, like, if he's just swearing.
Do you owe Candace an apology? No, I really don't have to be accountable for shit like that. I'm not mainstream.
In the ambassador to Greece, like, typically that wouldn't be a newsworthy event if President Biden or any typical president was probably doing it. But Trump's moments, anytime the camera's around and the reporters are around, it can turn into a press conference. And so you never go into the Oval thinking, oh, this is going to be a quick, we call them sprays. It's where you go in, basically a photo op, and then you leave. Because Trump will swear someone in and then he'll turn to you and say, any questions? and he'll take maybe questions for 45 minutes. And so you have to I always keep a running list of questions on my phone.
Okay.
Because you never know when you're going to run into him or when he's going to start taking questions. And so you can't just have.
Yeah, Trump gives insane access to the press, so even the liberal people have to admit it. That's what's going on here.
One or two. You have to have 10 ready to go.
Because you said the word typical president, right? Not your typical president. Typical president was swearing in someone from Greece, we would know. Is that because of predictability?
So Trump is my first president that I ever covered, and I covered Biden as well. And so I can compare it to him. But even with President Obama, there are these moments in the Oval Office that everyone has come to know because you see them on TV so often.
Right.
But when you speak to reporters who covered President Obama, he almost never responded to shouted questions. It wasn't his thing. He didn't, he would have his moments with world leaders, and then you would leave the Oval. Trump kind of upended that when he came into the White House. And sometimes presidents are press averse. Trump embraced the media. I mean, he did it for decades as this New York mogul.
Sure.
And so he just had a different approach to the press and always has, long before taking office. Most politicians are not very press savvy. It kind of depends on who it is. I think Trump always understood the value of a camera and a microphone.
Yankees came back. Yeah, I saw that. Right, 0 to 10. It's hard because there's masculine features. I mean, she's not terrible.
Madam Secretary, you have a convicted pedophile here, a couple of criminals here. These are bad hombres, as the president would say. Yet you have major cultural icons, big-time country music superstar. His name's Zach Bryan. He probably has tens
Caitlin Collins or Alex Clark.
of millions of Trump supporters in his audience, and he just released an anti-ICE song. I want to get your response to that, especially given what we've seen today.
I heard that and listened to a little bit of it and extremely disappointed and disheartened, and actually I hope he understands how completely disrespectful that song is, not just to law enforcement but to this country, to every single individual that has ever stood up and fought for our freedoms. He just compromised it all by putting out a product such as that that attacked.
Yeah, but how are you a white country singer talking about being angry with ICE? From the SEC country, it doesn't really compute.
Individuals who are just trying to make our streets safe. So, Zach, I didn't listen to your music. I'm happy about that today. Today, that makes me very happy that I never once gave you a single penny to enrich your lifestyle if you truly believe what that song stands for. But I am going to go out and probably download some Jason Aldean songs, John Rich songs.
Kid
John
Rock.
Party, Kid Rock, any of those guys. Those guys know what it means to stand up for freedom. So
Hey.
I'm glad I didn't waste any money on Zach.
A follow-up, Secretary. Zach Bryan does big shows and is protected by law enforcement a lot, right? Probably protected by some federal law enforcement, local, and so on. Seems relatively disrespectful to go after federal law enforcement in this song.
Well, that's what's so special about law enforcement, is that they don't pick and choose who they defend when they do their jobs. They will even defend and protect people that don't respect them or stand up for them. So that's who I'll point to when I tell my grandkids to grow up like some.
Bottled water. Man, I haven't had Deer Park in a while. Ice Mountain. The only ones I had was Deer Park and Ice Mountain. That's what they sell in Ohio. I never heard of the other ones. Arrowhead tastes like tap water. I love how they have the same exact mountain. No, it's actually a different mountain. I mean, I'll drink filtered tap water from the refrigerator. The problem with any of these is the plastic. Like I want to, I actually did order some glass bottled water. I'm being honest because the plastic is an issue. The water tastes really bad with plastic. The plastic seeps into it. It's a big problem. Fiji. It's overpriced. It's a waste of money. It's for like a 6-pack. It's like $7 for water. They say it's magic water. Remember Liquid Death? I got that once. It didn't taste anything special. Yeah, Liquid Death. It's not that good. It's a waste of money. Smart water overpriced. Brita and tap water, bro. Only combo that makes sense. Yeah, but just get the water from the refrigerator. From the refrigerator. That water tastes pretty good with a filter. Trump just absolutely torched Senator Richard Blumenthal. Cans are you need glass for really. The cans they don't get rid of all of it. Does Greta have autism? I don't know what she has, honestly. I think she's got she might be on the spectrum.
La he mirado en la tele. La he mirado.
Let you out?
Yeah.
No, not let you out. You're under arrest. You're under arrest. Are you here in the United States illegally?
Estás aquí ilegalmente. Tiene papeles para estar aquí.
That's a criminal charge in this country, to be here illegally.
¿Sí o no? ¿Tiene papeles?
Is that your brother? Yes? Yes? What's his name?
My brother?
This dude has no clue what's going on.
You waited until we detained you. So now you will be removed from this country and never given a chance to come back.
This dude doesn't understand.
Do you have family here besides your brother? Okay. We'll talk to him.
Imagine getting arrested by Christina. Dude, but it's so awkward. It's because they're trying to like film this and show them doing their jobs.
La he mirado en la tele. La he mirado.
Let you out?
Yeah.
No, not let you out. You're under arrest. You're under arrest. Are you here in the United States illegally?
Estás aquí ilegalmente. Tiene papeles para estar aquí.
Eric Trump releasing a new book, apparently.
Do you think that it is fair to say it looks like the administration is going after its political opponents now and doing exactly?
What if they deported him to to Britain, to the UK? And the UK is like, yep, we'll take him.
What you say you oppose?
That's what Comey? Because I mean, it seemed very clear to me in the congressional testimony. I don't know, just watching it, I certainly seemed like he lied to me. I mean, I'm also wondering what an FBI director is doing, taking memos from the FBI and leaking them to the New York Times. I mean, Chris, I'm a guy that hopes that the FBI director would be keeping planes from flying into buildings, keeping our country safe, keeping the Western.
Taking the juggernaut that is demolishing the weaponization of law enforcement and bringing it to places like Chicago. When I was there today with Todd, we learned that the Chicago city streets have 110,000 gang members. That's right, you heard me right. They had 1,200 shootings this year alone, 360 homicides. When politicians choose to side with those metrics and not their citizenry, thank God we have President Trump and this Department of Justice and this FBI going in there and crushing violent crime. And President Trump sent us into these cities quietly to set the stage, to set up for the National Guard, to see the success that we saw in Washington, D.C., in Memphis. The FBI has been leading the charge in every single one of these streets because we know how to gather ground-level intelligence, and we know how to put handcuffs on the bad guys, and we know that we have the backing of this administration. And most importantly, the agents at the FBI know that they have the backing of the American people and their governments.
See you guys in Valhalla. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I will be seeing you guys later. See you all in Valhalla.